small town of Ravenswood had a long history of eerie legends and chilling tales. Among them, the most notorious was the legend of the cursed mansion that stood at the edge of town. The once grand and opulent structure had been abandoned for decades, but the locals knew better than to venture near it, for they believed it was haunted. One fateful October night, a group of daring teenagers gathered around a bonfire, sharing ghost stories to fuel their fears. Among them was Emily, a curious and adventurous girl with a fascination for the supernatural. As the night wore on, the tales grew darker, and whispers of the midnight Séance reached Emily's ears. The midnight Séance was rumored to be a ritual performed on Halloween night, where participants could communicate with the spirits of the deceased. It was said to be dangerous, as the barrier between the living and the dead was at its thinnest on All Hallows' Eve. Despite the warnings, Emily's curiosity got the best of her, and she decided that she had to experience the midnight Séance for herself. Emily enlisted the help of her friends, John, Sarah, and Michael, to embark on this terrifying endeavor. They gathered at the cursed mansion just as the clock struck midnight. The moon hid behind ominous clouds, casting an eerie glow upon the decrepit building. With flashlights in hand, they cautiously entered the mansion's decaying interior. The air inside the mansion was thick with an unsettling presence, and each step echoed through the empty halls. They made their way to the main hall, where an old Ouija board awaited them. Sarah hesitated, but Emily convinced her that they had come this far and couldn't back down now. "Let's do this," Emily said with a determined tone. She placed her trembling fingers on the planchette, and her friends followed suit. They recited the incantation they had found in an ancient book of spells, and the Ouija board came to life, its planchette moving with an otherworldly force. "Is there anyone here with us?" Emily asked, her voice quivering. The planchette spelled out a name, a D-E-L-I-N-E. A chill ran down Emily's spine. Adeline had been the wife of a wealthy aristocrat who once owned the mansion. According to legend, she had tragically died under mysterious circumstances. "Adeline, are you trapped here?" Emily asked, her heart pounding. The planchette moved again, spelling out R-E-L-A-A-S-E. "Release you. How can we do that?" John asked, his skepticism wavering. "S-E-T-M-E-F-R-E-E, the board spelled out. Emily realized that Adeline's spirit was seeking freedom from the cursed mansion. Determined to help her, Emily asked, "What do we need to do to set you free?" The planchette spelled out a series of instructions, leading them to different rooms within the mansion. The friends followed the directions, and with each step, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. They encountered inexplicable phenomena, a sudden gust of cold wind in a sealed room, faint whispers in the dark, and fleeting apparitions that disappeared as quickly as they appeared. As they reached the final room, the walls seemed to pulse with an ominous energy. Adeline's spirit was said to be confined within an ancient, ornate mirror that stood in the room's corner. Emily knew that freeing her would come at a cost, but she was willing to take the risk. They followed the instructions, and as the clock struck 3:00 a.m., the mirror began to glow with an eerie light. The room seemed to warp and twist, as if reality itself was unraveling. Emily hesitated for a moment, but her determination to help Adeline prevailed. She reached out to touch the mirror. In that instant, a bone-chilling scream filled the room, and Adeline's spirit emerged from the mirror, her spectral form engulfed in anguish. Emily could feel the weight of the mansion's curse pressing down upon her. The room became a nightmarish vortex of swirling shadows and haunting echoes. With a final plea, Emily asked. "Adeline, are you free now?" "Ah." The spirit turned toward Emily, her face a mixture of sorrow and gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, before vanishing into the ether. The mansion trembled as if it were finally released from its torment. The friends hurriedly fled the building, and as they emerged into the outside world, they saw a blinding light consume the mansion, reducing it to ashes. From that day on, the mansion of Ravenswood was no more. The legend of the Midnight once lived on, a cautionary tale for those who dared to meddle with the boundary between the living and the dead. But Emily knew that she had done the right thing, and though she could never forget the horrors she had witnessed, she found solace in knowing that Adeline's spirit was finally at peace. However, she could never shake off the feeling that something had followed her back from that cursed mansion, an eerie presence that lingered in the shadows, waiting for the next opportunity to cross the threshold between the worlds of the living and the dead.